All right. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the Out the Box show. This is your host, Rory Luke, along with my co hosts, John Wallace and James Luffy. And we are here today to give you another banging episode of the Out the Box podcast presented by Boot Crew Media. Shout out to Boot Crew Media. Awesome guys over there. Check them out. John, instant reaction to the Super Bowl.
Rory, that was a phenomenal intro. I'm honestly impressed. I really am.
Well, it is episode 97, so
episode 97. We're trying a few things different here, but my instant reaction to the Super Bowl is what a great game. Honestly, what a great game by Joe Burrow. The first thing I thought on Monday when I woke up was I'm proud of Joe Burrow. I'm proud of what he was able to accomplish, being the comeback player of the year with his injury and whatnot. Like, that guy's a winner, and he's going to be in multiple Super Bowls. My other reaction, not related to the actual game, is I wish every day could be a Super Bowl party. Like, I was sitting there thinking while I was drinking beer and eating crawfish and watching football with a bunch of my friends, I was like, why can't we do this all the time? Like, why? Like, every day should be a Super Bowl party, right? Like, every day should be a celebration like that. But everybody's going to come back to reality, and that's what makes like moments like that so great. But all in all, the Super Bowl was great. The halftime show was, I thought, phenomenal. I felt bad for the people on the opposite side of the performance stage, but other than that, it was a fantastic evening, and I was definitely dragging on Monday morning.
Did you talk to your dad at all about the halftime performance? I want to know his thoughts.
So I will go ahead and say this. So my dad is an old school classic rock fan. He is not a fan of rap music. So I got home. Me and him. He cooked a pastelaya for his friends over at his friend's house, and I was with Luffy at our boy Martine's house, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Talk about it.
But I pulled up to my dad's friend's house, and I went in and had a beer with them and all that. And we got home, and my dad was like, "My God, man, the Super Bowl halftime show. They've had the Who on, they've had the Stones, they've had all these other classic rock bands on, and then they come out
J-Lo, Shakira
with this." Yeah, he loved. I'll tell you what. This is y'all are. I think y'all are gonna love this. So, a few years ago, my dad's gonna come on the podcast soon. We were talking about this before we started, but my dad loved the Bruno Mars halftime show. He walked away from that saying, that dude is so talented. Like, he was actually drawn in. Like, he loved every second of the Bruno Mars halftime show. So, all that to say, he was not the biggest fan of the halftime show because that wasn't his type of music. But my counterpoint to that was, Dad, were you really, like, when you heard who the halftime show was going to be, knowing that you're not a big fan of this type of music, did you really think you were just going to be like, your whole like view on the halftime show was going to be flipped? Like, did you think you were going to love it? He's like, nah, not really. He's like, I wish it was like the Who or the Rolling Stones or whatnot. So, all in all, I thought it was great. My dad just wished it was classic rock.
James?
Well, Super Bowl thoughts. Initially, I was like, kind of whatever. Bengals covered, hit some good props. But then the next day, I was just like sad that a team with zero fan base won because like half the best part of it is like the parade. There must have been 8 people at the parade. There's more people on the team than were at the parade today. I mean, like, and just they were close. Like the next day was when it hit me. I was like, damn, they really should have won that game. They had chances to win the game. Refs got involved a little bit at the end, but still, just no answer for Aaron Donald. What an absolute freak he is.
Beast mode.
He just blew those poor guards up play after play. I mean, that was like abuse out there. That was bad. Rams were that was really what I think everybody was concerned about, that defensive line, and for a good reason. But sad for Joe and Jamar and Shelvin, but you know what? It's going to be hard to get back there. Like, people are already starting those discussions, which I hate. But I'm really happy for Andrew Whitworth, and I'm happy for Odell too, because Odell, like, I think his All-Pro, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, like, that's a career. Like, say what you want about him, that's a career. Like, people can't knock his career anymore. People said he's washed up. Doesn't matter. He's had an NFL career if he doesn't play again, which he might not. It sucks to see that he went out with an ACL injury. I actually think he would have won the MVP.
I was going to say that.
And there was actually a couple plays in the game that they may have pointed out, or I maybe saw the next day, that were for Odell. Like, that was, plays for him. I think he would have had 2 touchdowns, and I think he would have ended up being the MVP. And Whitworth, at 40 years old, Hall of Famer after the Super Bowl, great career. I mean, just incredible to be playing offensive tackle at 40 years old at the highest level. That's insane. But, sad the Bengals lost a little bit, but, the main thing was for the fan. I feel bad for the Bengals fan base. Like, they didn't get to have the parade today, and 12 Rams fans celebrated.
They will be back. Albeit everything to say, the fact that Joe Burrow was able to do what he did in the time period that he did. He's been a Cincinnati Bengal for 2 years. Was hurt for the first year, took him to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow will be back in the Super Bowl. There's no question about that in my mind. And I hope it's with Cincinnati. I hope he's a career Cincinnati Bengal, because he took a team with no offensive line, which is arguably the most important. Rory, you can attest to this. Like, that is arguably the most important position on the football field. Although it doesn't get the stats or the glory or the accolades, Joe Burrow did what should make everybody incredibly proud. That's why, to be honest with you, I wasn't that upset that the Bengals lost, because Joe Burrow is my age while I'm sitting here, enjoying a cocktail on a Wednesday night and huffing and puffing about my 9 to 5, which I love my 9 to 5, but
just in case your uncle's listening,
Joe Burrow is out there killing it, and he is a young talent. He will be back in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I promise you that.
From a football perspective, I think that they've got to go spin now. Like on short-term contracts. Try to get back there in the next 2-3 years, because they're loaded on that side with quarterbacks. The AFC is loaded with quarterbacks, and you have to spend while Joe and Jamar are still on the rookie contracts. And the Bengals have a cheap owner, which is the main concern with all that, because the way you get around the salary cap is just pay the bonus money up front. The Saints have been doing it. People are like, oh, the Saints, how do they, have cap room? How do the Rams have cap room? Well, the owner pays the money up front. That's how they were able to have. I mean, the rosters weren't even close. Like, I can't believe it when the line came out at 3.5, 4.5. I thought it was going to be a touchdown. Like, the rosters are a touchdown, if not more of a difference. And, like, that's hard to overcome. And if you don't spend the money, you won't overcome that. And I don't know. That's my concern. I'm not concerned with Joe or Jamar or the players. Like, you just have to spend the money to have a complete team, and you have to pay a pass rusher, pay an offensive lineman. It's tough. So I hope they spend quickly and try to get back before they're on those big contracts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Odell going out was like completely changed the game. I mean, it just looked like he was going to be dominant. He had over 50 yards and a touchdown already. He goes out on a non-contact injury like that. Just sucks to see, but I mean, I agree. Like, their time is now, Luffy. Like, they got to spend. You know, they obviously need offensive line, but you know, the defense is very good as well, and they need to continue to spend and supply players to that defense. But I mean, I'm honestly like the second half of the game, like I felt flew by, like I blinked and then it was done.
I agree.
Yes, I do.
And I kind of thought the game was going to go fast. I was like, I also bet the under. It was because I felt like it was going to be a fast game. Like that's kind of I bet like totals. I'm like, is this game going to go by fast when I'm sitting there watching it? And I'm just thinking about the coaches and the Rams, the way they like just operate their team and run the offense. Like it went by fast. You're right. But I did think last drive, like I thought Joe was going to drive down the field. I thought they were going to.
I think everybody in Louisiana and everybody at surrounding Super Bowl parties thought it was like, okay, Joe Burrow, like, yes, of course. He gets the ball back with around a minute left. Like, we're ready to go.
And like, I think if he's not hurt, I mean, the game plan is different. You saw it as soon as he got hurt, they really didn't throw the ball. And then, like, that last drive is when they started throwing it, and you get to that 2nd and 1, and you take the bomb, and then you miss a bomb, and you don't get the run. It's just tough. It was tough. I definitely thought at least a field goal. You know, McPherson's got the leg. Like, I thought we were going to overtime. But
the thing that stung the most is Jamar creating the separation on Ramsey at the end on the last play. Like, you see it, and it's one of those, like, this is a poem like that I loved in middle school or or high school or whatever. Of all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest of these it might have been. Like, imagine Joe getting free. Imagine another block coming on Donald. Like, the game's over on a touchdown in regulation, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. But
even the 3rd and 1, I think the 3rd and 1 is a tougher play than the 4th and 1 because the run straight at Aaron Donald was just crazy, in my opinion, because you also have to burn a timeout there. I don't know. I didn't get that call, but
sure. But, you know, it all in all, I'd say the Super Bowl was as entertaining as it could have been. I think the drama was there. I think Joe Burrow will be back at some point in his career. Everybody knows that. The dude's a winner. The dude took the Bengals, who haven't been to the playoffs in 31 years, who haven't been to the Super Bowl in God knows how long. Like, it's incredible to see what Joe Burrow has done. And I think, you know, we've spent the first 10, 12 minutes of the podcast talking about the Super Bowl. We're not doing that if Joe Burrow is not the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Like,
how about that Jamar, mate?
Yes. And it's stupid the fact that they were able to turn around a team that was 4-12 or 4-13, 4-13 last year, correct?
The year before they won 2 games.
Am I wrong in saying that? Like, anyway, all that to say, Joe Burrow will be back. The dude is literally, I think he's about our age. He's about our age, and we're washed up in the workforce and finishing up law school. But it was incredible. I wish every single day could be Super Bowl Sunday. I will go ahead and shout out Martine at Workbox. Luffy, I know you got some good things to say about him. He hosted us for the Super Bowl party. He had the greatest Super Bowl party I've been to in a long time.
And we all know about Workbox by now, but something Martine did. This is a risky move now. He's so confident in his cleaning ability and Workbox's cleaning ability, and they provide all kind of things: storage containers, portable offices, portable toilets, roll-off dumpsters. But Martine brought the crawfish inside for everyone to eat, which is a crazy move.
That was crazy. That was honestly like an insane move.
I will be honest, Luffy. So I was sitting in the corner. I had my ice chest next to me, and I was sitting in, honestly, an office chair. And I was sitting back watching football, and all of a sudden I looked over, and there was a table, a Lifetime table, coming into the side door with a trash bag on it, walking its way. It literally parked itself right in front of me to where the TV was at my 90 and the crawfish were at my, like, I don't know, 70, 75, whatever. I was literally, without having to take a step, able to drink beer, eat crawfish, watch football, and be conditioned by air all in one night. That's what I'm saying. Super Bowl Sunday was made perfectly by Martine Patio.
Yep. So shout out Martine. If you need a portable office, portable restroom rental, roll off dumpsters, porta potty, storage container, call Workbox LLC at 225-343-4886.
Yes.
Baseball.
Yes. And no, hold on. So Martine, and by the way, we have a fantastic interview that we're about to get to. We kind of spilled into the Super Bowl, but Martine asked me, he goes, when are we going to renew? When are we going to renew our sponsorship with Workbox? And the only answer I gave him was, and I looked at him while I was at his house. I said, how are you asking me this while I'm at your house? And he's like, we want to support you all in whatever we do. And that's
shout out Martine.
Shout out Martine. That's the type of guy he is. Make sure to call Workbox. Workbox is going to be helping us out with baseball tailgates throughout the baseball season. Martine is the man. He wants to help you out. Portable dumpsters, roll-off dumpsters, portable restrooms. Luffy already said it. Make sure to give him a call. All right. Let's get to 17 minutes in the show. We did all right. Doing the intro and whatnot. We talked about the Super Bowl and whatnot. Let's get to LSU infielder, outfielder, I don't know, catcher if
DH,
you need him to,
sometimes.
DH, recurring guest on the Out the Box podcast, our guy, Cade Beloso. Alrighty, we now have a very special recurring guest, one of the few recurring guests that we have on the Out the Box podcast. He came on the show the week before the LSU baseball season last year. We got him back this year. He's recharged and ready to go. LSU infielder, outfielder, whatever you need him to do. Mr. Cade Beloso. Cade, it's great to have you back on the Out of the Box podcast. And I want to go ahead and start off the interview with a straight up question. It's very direct. It's very straight up. Do we need to go ahead and book the RV to Omaha now, or should we wait? When should we book the RV? Because we've already decided we're taking an RV and Luffy's joining.
First, thank you guys for having me. It was a blast last year, and it's going to be a blast again. Yeah, man, go ahead and get that RV ready.
Let's go.
We have a really good team. Obviously, that's our goal. And we're going to work really hard to achieve that goal this year for you guys.
Hey, tell us one thing that we need to know about Coach Jay Johnson that nobody knows.
I mean, dude, I feel like y'all know a lot about him. Everybody wants to know about him. He's done a ton of interviews, but one word that, comes to mind that when I think of Coach Jay is just relentless. He's just a relentless worker. He's just so smart, so knowledgeable about the game. He works hard every single day to make sure we're the most prepared as we can be. He brings great energy to the field. He just makes it such a great environment for us to train every day, to excel as players and excel as people too. So he's the man.
Does he get mad? Like I was trying to look up today, how often he got ejected from games at Arizona. And I did see he got ejected once last year, which kind of surprised me.
Right.
But I couldn't find the video, so I was wondering, does he get mad? Do you think he's going to be in the ump's face, or you think he's going to be maybe just say something to him that kind of just triggers him and he gets tossed out that way? Or
I mean, he might get mad at some umpires. I don't know if it'll get to the point where he gets ejected, but he'll always have our backs. I mean, yeah, when he gets mad at some certain things that we do, that we obviously we try to avoid doing, just some little things that easily fixed, but not a big yeller, very businesslike in the sense that like, he doesn't really, blow guys up, or he doesn't need to do that. He's like, do I need to like find somebody else to do it? He's like, this is why you want to do this. Like you should be able to do this because like that, not necessarily like just blowing you up, but he can get mad sometimes. Yeah, when we're not doing the little things right.
Well, Cade, so like, from our perspective, like you're around him every day. You're through the thick and thin with him. Like from our perspective, he has come in and he doesn't like to the media. He does his press conferences. He seems very calculated. He seems like he is just all business. But what I've noticed about him is that he makes his biggest statements through his actions, right? He's not like a big talker. He's not like a big, competitive in your face, like gonna, go up to the podium and say, yeah, we're going to wreck them this week. Or where Coach Maneri would, he'd give some commentary, whatnot. I feel like his actions putting together this team. I mean, you were saying before we got started, like this team is, you said it, it's the best team you've been on since you've been at LSU, right?
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead on that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like you said, his actions. First of all, he brought in the best coaches in the country. All of our coaches: Jason Kelly, the pitching coach; Mark Wanaka, the hitting coach; Dan Fitzgerald, the infield coach; Tyler Norderin, the ops guy. And they're the best in the country. So it all starts with the coaches, and they're great people. On top of that, they're phenomenal coaches. They know how to get to us. How to just get their point across, and just they relate to us in all kind of different ways. But on top of that, he brings in some of the greatest players in the country too. That says a lot about him and how much he wants to win, and what he's willing to do to win. He's just such one of my favorite coaches that I've ever played for. He's so easy to buy into what he's trying to do on the field. He literally is all about baseball 24/7, just eats, sleeps, and breathes baseball. And that's all you can ask for out of a coach, because, he's going to be prepared. So you got to do your part on the field as well. And, early work, stuff like that to stay ready.
I was listening to Mikey Mato talk about on Jordan Collada's show, your swing changes. Is it Jay Johnson? Is it Coach Johnson specifically that's working with you, or is it a combination of the hitting coach and some of the other assistants, or is it who's your main like source in changing that?
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a combination. It takes a village, right? But yeah, it's a combo of Coach Jay and we call him Chief, our hitting coach, Mark Wanaka, but he's known around our facility as Chief. We work together a lot every single day. We call our hitting sessions Breakfast Club. It's usually in the morning, and it's just me and him hitting, working on stuff that Coach Jay wants. Because, obviously Coach is like a busy guy, some stuff before practice, so he's not always like able to do stuff. So Chief steps in, and he's an extension of Jay. Just what we want to do at the plate and all that kind of stuff. And Chief loves hitting more than anybody. That's his thing, is hitting. He eats, sleeps, and breathes hitting. So it's a combo.
Cade, what's it like being one of the oldest farts on the team?
Dude, it's crazy, man. I was talking to literally someone about that today. How it was like 3 years ago today. It was like my first game. And I was like, dude, I'm getting old as shit. I mean, it's good in the sense that I can be a source to these younger guys. And at the same time, it's sad how fast my time here at LSU has, just gone right before my eyes. But I'm super blessed to be here for my fourth year and, ready to get things rolling for the fourth year and just taking everything in this year. Just super thankful and, super excited that, not a lot of people get to come play baseball at LSU and let alone do that for 4 years. So I'm just super thankful. But definitely it's a little different being the grandpa, I will say that.
And I want to ask you this, and I feel like you'll be cool with me asking this.
Right.
So you've had a great career at LSU, but it has had some ups and downs, right?
Right.
Last year, the plate was a bit of a struggle at times. What have you done in this offseason? How has Coach Jay Johnson helped you to correct that, to get you to where you need to be and where you can be?
Right. Yeah, like you said, like I've had ups and I've had downs, and I think that's what really defines a player is how he's able to bounce back from those downs. And yeah, last year was weird for me. That was the first time in my life I'd ever done that. That was as close to hitting rock bottom as I could have got, and mentally I kind of didn't know how to like react to that. And so, I mean, I developed a whole mental approach to baseball now. And obviously I went through a big swing change with Coach Jay and Chief. I don't have a leg kick anymore. Like my foot kind of stays down the whole time. I'm able to use my legs properly because I was never able to use my legs properly because of that big leg kick, and just was never really kind of taught how to use the legs properly. Which this is something I would have learned. I wish I would have learned like a long time ago. But yeah, just kind of a whole swing change and a whole mental approach game to baseball now, which is awesome.
Do you think last year was harder, partially because like playing DH more?
I mean, kind of in a way, yeah. I mean, I had never really like known how to be a DH because I had played first the first 2 years. So when you have a bad game in the field, you can go out and make a play, and everybody's like, "Let's go!" Like, good play, like it fires you up. But like when you're DHing, if you're hitting bad, then you're not doing anything besides being a good teammate, and that can be hard. But yeah, I know how to do it now. I've been doing it all spring, just kind of going through routines to get yourself like ready before the game, being a DH, and just staying ready during the game, being the DH. So kind of learned how to do that a little bit.
Cade, so I see your beard is coming in nicely.
Appreciate that.
I think last year when we talked to you, you kind of had some flow and some long hair and whatnot.
Right.
I want to ask you, was Coach Maneri like foreshadowing something when he allowed y'all to have beards last year? Did everybody know that he was going to retire, or like was that like his final like push to because he knew it was going to be his last year?
I mean, I don't think that he exactly knew. And I don't know where that beard thing really came from. He kind of just said one day, he was like, "You know what? I've decided to change that. I've done this for so long. I want to be different. Let's let y'all grow beards, whatever." And I cut my hair off because long hair had no hits in it. So I decided to never do that again. So
like that.
I have a question, Cade, throwing it back a little bit. You played football at Curtis, right?
Right.
Who was the best player you played against?
The best player I played against? I think that's pretty easy. Played against Jamar Chase.
I was about to say, I feel like you might have someone. You might have had one of those guys in the Super Bowl you played against.
Yeah. So I also played 2 years in football in Texas as well at a school outside of Houston. And so I didn't necessarily play against them, but so time out. I got two people that come to mind. CD Lamb was on my high school team in Texas as well. I said it back. I was on his football team. So I played with CD, and then also Kenneth Murray, who's a linebacker for the Chargers. I played against him in a football game in high school, and I got hit pretty hard by him. So those three people come to mind.
Cade, so going back to Coach Maneri, since we kind of mentioned him, he is the Tinker King in our eyes, at least. We've kind of dubbed him that. Is Jay Johnson a tinker guy, and is he really going to go to battle with Maneri for the king of tinkering?
I'm sorry. What do you mean by tinkering? I'm sorry.
Like with the lineup, like different things, like for example, and this has been kind of the talk of the LSU baseball community is Trey Morgan getting some action in center, you going back to first. Yeah, like that's what everyone's speculating about right now. Is Jay Johnson gonna try to battle Coach Maneri at tinkering?
I mean, I wouldn't really call it necessarily tinkering. I think one thing that is really strong about our team this year is the depth of our team. Like we have so many good players, and Coach Jay says this all the time that we could roll out 2 different nines and still be successful as a team.
I said that last week on the podcast. I said that we had Bill Franquez on last week, and I told
Bill's
him
the man. First of all, he has the voice of God.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Right. So I mean, I wouldn't really call it tinkering, but I mean, definitely expect to see a lot of people coming in and entering the game and impacting it in a positive way. Just because that's a strength of our team. We have so many good position players and good pitchers that it's gonna take more than 9 on a given day to win a game, and I think we're more than capable of that. So I wouldn't really call it like tinkering, but there'll be a lot of guys coming in to impact some games.
I think we just like saying the word tinkering. I think it's just a fun word to say.
It is kind of fun. I didn't really know what it meant when y'all first said that, but it makes sense now.
So Rory couldn't be with us for the interview, but he is fired up for the LSU baseball season coming up, and he wanted to know your favorite Will Ferrell movie. He said he thought of that randomly. He said a lot of your Instagram captions have been Will Ferrell quotes.
Right.
Top Will Ferrell movies.
Gosh. Okay, I'm glad you're not making me do one because that'd be so hard. Dude, I have like 5 that are my favorites. But I mean, he has a lot, but I have 5 that really come to mind.
Step Brothers has to be number 1, right?
What's up?
Step Brothers has to be number 1 if you had to pick one.
Step Brothers is like 1A. Then Semi-Pro is 1B for me. So those are 2. Then we got The Campaign with him and Zach Galifianakis. Talladega Nights. And then Kicking and Screaming.
Love it. It's an elite list.
Yeah, he's obviously like hands down the funniest actor there is and ever will be. Like I don't even think that's close. Those are my first 5.
What about Zoolander? I know that wasn't like his movie per se, but like, I mean, Mugatu, like that in my eyes, he killed that role.
Oh, I mean, absolutely, yeah, he killed it. It's a good one, but yeah, that's not cracking my 5.
All right, so your walk-up song. I looked at the list the other day, but I can't remember. So last year, your walk-up song was "Buy You a Drink."
Mm-hmm.
Is that still your walk-up song this year?
No, I changed it up. It's called "Love Tonight" by Shoes.
Okay. All right. What all went into that change?
I'll be the intro for this podcast.
I heard it one day in the locker room, and I kind of just like started like bopping my head to it, and then talked to Jordan Thompson about it. I was like, yo, this is kind of this is a banger. Like this song goes hard. And he was like, dude, I was thinking about it using that as my walk-up song. I was like, time out. I was thinking about the same thing. And he was like, all right, well, you can take it, and I'm going to do My Love by JT. So we kind of like flip-flopped. And he was like, dude, go for it. So like, I was like, once I got that approval of like he wasn't going to use it anymore, I was like, I'll take it because I love the song. It has a good beat to it, and it's groovy. It'll get the people going. So
good. All right, my last question. So this Friday night, it is. Yes. I'm predicting, or I'm not predicting, but I looked at the weather, and it's going to be quite chilly. It's going to be the ice box. Do you prefer the box when it's freezing ass cold,
right?
Or would you rather on a Sunday with the sun shining?
I mean, baseball is baseball, but I mean, no one really likes playing in the cold. But you got to do it. You got to be gritty about it. Put some sleeves on. Wear some extra underwear, wear some extra socks, whatever you got to do to stay warm. But nothing beats a sunny and 75 day at the box. But in regards to that, all the fans just wear some sweaters, bring some beanies, blankets, whatever you got to do. Pack the box this Friday. It's going to be a little chilly, but it's going to warm up the next 2 days after that. So whatever you got to do, make it loud, make them feel us.
Last question for me. Will Coach Johnson be wearing the little like mittens that Coach Manera used to wear if it's that cold?
I mean, it's been pretty cold in the preseason. I've never seen Coach Jay wear gloves. If that gives you any insight.
Perfect. That's great.
I mean, I just thought Coach Maneri, honestly, it was like batting gloves, and I thought he was going to grab a bat at some point if he needed to, and maybe take on the ump or get a base hit. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I've never seen Coach Jay wear gloves, so I don't know if he'll do that.
Well, Cade, this is always fun having you on the podcast, man. You're a leader on this LSU baseball team and a model LSU baseball player. You're looking great.
Appreciate that.
Opening night on Friday night. Wish you a great season, and let's do it again. I want to do it again mid-season, but if we don't do that, let's do it again in Omaha in our RV.
Let's do it. That sounds like a plan to me. Appreciate you guys for having me. It's always fun. Let's do that plan, and let's do the RV in Omaha. Let's do it.
Good deal, Cade. Go Tigers.
Thanks,
Go
Cade.
Tigers.
All righty, we want to give a huge shout out to our boy Cade Beloso. I was telling Luffy after the interview, I'm like, that dude is always just cool. Like he's always just cool, ready to go. We sent him the link invite. He said, "Hey, I'll be home in a few minutes." He joined immediately right when he got home and was just ready to go, refreshed. And I have never had more confidence in this LSU baseball team, right? I mean, the words he spoke about the team itself, Coach Johnson, the whole process, like, wow. Cade Beloso being a senior leader of your team, imagine coming into LSU, one of the top tier baseball teams in the country. New coach, new everything, literally whole staff. And you walk in and you see Cade Beloso with that beard. What are you doing?
Probably just feeling it up.
You'd walk in right there.
Just grabbing it.
You'd walk in right there, Luffy, and you just feel his beard.
Yeah.
Before you even said hello.
Yep. Probably
okay.
So. Like, that's what I do with Rory.
Rory?
I mean, I have to agree. Maybe touch beards.
Yeah, there you go.
You touch beards with Cade Beloso.
I'm kind of mad mine wasn't full for our interview.
I'm kind of mad that I was doing No Shave 19.
Sade isn't going to the dome. That's what I tell him.
So, yeah, no. So, Rory, to be honest with you, I listened to the interview we did with Cade last year, and you brought up that Trey Morgan was a Brother Martin Crusader or whatever y'all call yourselves, and he kind of shut that down about how he shut Trey down in high school and whatnot, and about how it's not really a topic of conversation between them because he knows who's boss. That's what he told me. I swear, right?
That's right.
That was episode 50 of the Out This Box podcast, and I'll be damned if I wouldn't say that Cade Beloso, we're looking forward to it. Rory, you don't know this. I'm not going to lie. We haven't booked an RV for Omaha, but you better clear your schedule because Cade Beloso is very confident that we are going to end up in Omaha. And regardless of that, we're going to book the RV, so we're going to end up in Omaha. So we booked you
John,
a trip.
I have bad news for you.
Boards.
My New Year's resolution will get in the way of me going on RV to Omaha.
No, Rory. You're going to have to figure something out because we already made a promise to Beloso.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
All right, y'all want to talk some pitching since we talked a little fielding last week with tomorrow. Tomorrow when you're listening to this, or today, if you're listening to this on Friday, game day, opening day. Yeah. And Coach Jay Johnson announced today, Friday night starter, Blake Money, a.k.a. Kenny Powers, now Slim Kenny. It's crazy, honestly, to think that he was going to be our Friday night starter. Like, if you would have asked me at the end of last year, would he have been one of your top 8 guys you would have guessed at the end of last year, Rory?
Can we?
I think
you directed. All right.
At the end of last year.
Go ahead, Rory.
At the end of last year. I mean, he wasn't, he wasn't traveling. He wasn't at the end of the SEC series. He was not traveling, and he did not.
He wasn't pitching well. He pitched well at the beginning of the year and threw some solid innings, but at the end of the year, he's not pitching well. But
he was not on the postseason roster. Like, did not travel with the team. So that's, I mean, for him, like, he must have been grinding. I mean, he lost 40 pounds. I think
that's what I was gonna say. Can you believe the transformation just by looking at the picture? He actually looked like Kenny Powers.
Oh, he looked exactly like him. It was a beautiful comparison.
Like, and then all of a sudden he looks like this slimmed up, like, European model coming to the LSU baseball pitching mound. And what I was gonna say is, how do you take a guy like that, right? It can only benefit you to lose that weight, to get in shape, to do what you got to do. And all of a sudden, He's a Friday night guy. It makes sense given that this team has basically to rebuild their pitching staff, right?
Yeah, but it's just strange because there's a lot of young guys and talented guys. I mean, we got to see Javon Coleman at the end of last year, who was really good, the lefty. And then we got to see like Ty Floyd looked like a guy with a ton of potential. And I think they like Money because he's throwing strikes and giving good, valuable innings. And I don't think he even really is going to be throwing that hard. Like it's gonna be hard, but not like relatively hard.
When you lose that many pounds, you're gonna lose some as you like to say.
I wonder if he did.
As you like to say, some velo.
Velo, yeah.
But you lose those pounds.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Like whenever you lose those pounds, you lose velo.
But you get more athletic as well.
Yeah, and he could have gained speed as well. Like with strength, you can gain speed at times, like similar to like golf, you know.
Right, but he doesn't need speed. He needs
workmanship
of the fastball.
That doesn't always correlate because that would mean that CC Sabathia should have been throwing like 120.
Okay, all right, I understand that, but the point I was trying to make is that was quite a change for Blake Money, right? Like you can look at Blake Money and you can say, okay, this guy was like, he was like the Kenny Powers, like that was his kind of his nickname, but he was kind of big and he was kind of whatever. This guy looks like he's slimmed up. He looks like he looks more of like that. I don't want to make a comparison because y'all are gonna make fun of me, but he looks more of like a Friday or Saturday starter. Right? Like he
looks like a face shock now.
He's just a reliever, right? So we asked Cade Beloso about tinkering. Cade Beloso is too young to understand the word tinkering like we do. Rory, you're gonna hear the interview, but I think it's worth tinkering. I think Blake Money at times showed enough last year to where he is valuable enough to be a starter. And I think although the young guys like Javon Coleman and you had Blake Money, like the pitching staff wasn't absolute last year. Like it wasn't
no absolutely
it wasn't like this like, all right, we got this Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy.
Well, we thought that at the beginning of the season when you before
we did, but what I'm saying is give the guy who has the hot hand, right? Blake Money, if he's got the hot hand in fall ball and spring and whatnot, give him the ball and let the guy who's lost 40 pounds or whatever it is see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with the decision. I'm just saying it's surprising. That was my only point. So Saturday, we're going with Hilliard. He's been here. This is his 5th year, I believe. Right-hander, great breaking ball. When he's locating his pitches, he's so fun to watch because people really can't make solid contact on him. And he's a guy who really came on at the end of last year and has shown flashes of greatness. And I think he should be a solid Saturday guy.
I agree. I think that, like we've said all year, I think it'll be like a Saturday, Sunday for Mikhail. Either or. I think he'll be a mainstay, especially if he's pitching the way he was pitched at the end of last year. I think he came on and kind of really saved LSU at the end of the last year, was a key guy to get us to the regional and to the super regional as well. Just pitched, very solid innings and became really like our only reliable guy outside of Marceau last year. We just didn't really have anybody else, but he kind of got into that Sunday role and kind of solidified himself. So I'm excited for Saturday for sure.
So who do you think's going to start Sunday? Either one of y'all.
So Sunday, I wrote down a list of guys who I think will start some games this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I think 1 and 2 on that list right now is Ty Floyd and Devin Fontenot. I think those are your main 2 guys probably vying for that. I don't like – you're shaking your head, and I agree with you. I don't like Devin Fontenot in the starting role. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, Rory, I'm not like disagreeing. I'm just saying I think that them like starting Money this Friday night means that Fontenot is going to be coming out of the pen. Like I think that's a kind of a sign. I could be wrong, but I just feel like that's a sign of.
I hope you're right because I really don't think he has starter material. He doesn't really have a third pitch, and he barely has a second pitch. And his fastball, he has a really good fastball, but when his fastball is not locating, he can very much get hit around. But I like Ty Floyd. I like Javin Coleman, the lefty, big last year in the regionals as well.
Yeah.
I like both those guys. And then two other guys I think that are going to get a shot, Garrett Edwards and Will Helmers. Again, two more sophomores that we also saw start last year. I mean, Will Helmers started, I think, pretty much every weekday game, or most of them. So he almost went undefeated in those weekday games, But I think that like you just got to find your third guy out of that bunch.
I think so. So just to kind of wrap the bow around the pitching staff and whatnot, this year's team, as opposed to other teams, right? Like last year, there were sparks of Gorilla Ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were sparks of it, but we never really had Gorilla Baseball like we had in the Skip Berman era. What I will say is, and Beloso said this, Luffy,
yep,
is that you could trot out 9 guys to play certain positions, and then he said, all right, you could trot out another 9 guys, could be some of the same mix in whatever, to play the same positions, and we'd still have a damn good baseball team. Like,
yeah, I agree.
The depth this year allows Coach Jay Johnson to tinker in the way that he needs to, right? And regardless of pitching is crucial. Pitching is every single play of the game. But I think Coach Jay Johnson has some time to figure it out against some non-conference opponents and kind of tinker with it.
Well, let's get to the rest of the pitchers. We've left a lot of guys out here.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, you said put a bow on it. I don't know.
I'm not putting a bow on anything.
All right. Eric Razelman, guy who was supposed to come in. He was going to be the Friday night guy. That's what everyone thought. That was 100 miles an hour. I guess he's going to be the closer for now. That's kind of what it seems like everyone said on the radio, and they're kind of alluding to. So yeah. I think between him and the pitching coach, Kelly, said that they feel the most important inning is the 7th inning. So I think a lot of times you're going to see Fontenot around like 7-8, 6-7-8, and then you're going to see Razelman at the end of those crucial games, like must-win games. I think that's kind of the way it's going to go.
Another guy that you'll see is also Paul Gervasi, big tall dude. Another transfer, tall. He's a funky right-hander. He throws like a funky, very hard to recognize kind of delivery. You'll see him he's a big dude, 6'7", looks lanky, looks like.
Our pitchers are huge.
What?
Our pitchers are huge, in size.
Yeah.
Well,
the average height of them is 6 and 8.
Blake Money's kind of shrunk in size, but.
Paul Gervasi, he's also one of those RPMs guys. I think he gets the 2600s in the RPMs. So, his pitches are moving. And he's a guy that I think will make kind of that 3-headed monster of what you're talking about with Fontenot, Razelman, and then it'll be Gervasi to kind of close games out that 7th, 8th, and 9th. I think that's what you'll see. I think Paul Gervasi is going to be very good. Just what I've heard and what I've read about in the fall, and I've seen him pitch. You go on his Instagram, he's got highlights, and that funky delivery from the right side when he's tall. It's going to be hard to hit in college, especially just for an inning.
Yeah,
so.
another sleeper I think is a starter for me, Rory. Kale. I don't know if I'm saying the Lansville. I don't know how you say his last name. He's a freshman. He's like 93, 94, and apparently he's got a really good curveball. And I've heard some things that people have been at practice about him. So, like, obviously we haven't seen much of him yet, but I think he's a guy that they maybe are considering for one of those starting roles. And then for a couple other relievers, the Arizona transfer, Riley Cooper, the left-hander. I think you'll see him out of the pen a good amount. Who else? We talked Todd Foot a little bit. Like, I think the potential is there for him to be really good. He had trouble locating a little bit last year.
You got the Dirty 30.
The Dirty 30.
Hey, the Dirty 30. Come on.
Coming back. Is it 5th year for him or 4th?
I think it's a 5th year for him.
Dude, all right. Can I be honest about Trey Schaefer?
Sure.
We need to get him on the show. We do need to get him. But at the same, no, I know we can get him on, but we want him to come on. But what I will say, he, to be honest with you, looks like the most intimidating of the pitching staff, right? Like, if you're on the mound against him, he's got his hat pulled up to the brim, like he's got his hair cut real high and tight. Like, I'd be afraid of the Dirty 30, especially if I knew that he was called the Dirty 30. You don't get that nickname for a reason, right? We've been talking about Trey Schaefer for a few years now, and he, to be honest with you, is the perfect relief guy that we have.
He fires me up when he comes in. He just looks like he has that mean swag. So I like that. I like that a lot. And I think also that Cooper could start for us some, Rory, but I'm not 100% on that, but I think that I've heard some things about him maybe starting, but overall, a lot of guys are going to roll out and they're going to be pitching for matchups. Like, the rotation could be changing all the time, and like they're going to Kelly talked about matchups mostly, like in all of his interviews that I've seen. So
we have a
different approach. I think they're going to pull guys out earlier than Maneri did.
We also have a return of some glasses. Jacob Hasty, he's a lefty transfer. I think a JUCO transfer that wears a Chris Reed sport glasses. Love to see it. Love to see it on the mound. The rec specs. 2 other freshmen.
They're not really rec specs, but
they're close enough. That you talked about freshmen, Grant Fontenot and Grant Taylor. Some other freshmen to watch out of the bullpen. They have pretty good falls.
Yeah, I mean,
what about their like them throwing?
What do you mean?
Like their baseballs, them throwing, like their pitching.
Well, I don't know what you're asking me here.
No, man.
Grant,
you just said they have pretty good balls. I was wondering about their baseballs.
Falls.
We're an LSU baseball podcast.
Pretty good falls.
Oh, I thought you said balls.
Falls. I said falls. Pretty good falls.
Anybody else, Rory? I know there's a couple other freshmen that we haven't mentioned, but
all right, we'll go ahead and cut that out. unless Rory edits this episode, we'll go ahead and cut that out.
They have Trey Schaefer, the Southeastern lineup transfer, but he didn't pitch that well at Southeastern, so I think he's more of a back-end bullpen guy. Bryce Collins as well, another Arizona transfer, another glasses guy. But that does it for my list of pitchers. Do we want to talk about Maine a little bit?
Do you know anything about Maine besides?
I did a little bit of research on Maine. So, John, can you give us a breakdown of when the games are going to be this weekend, and I'll start talking about Maine.
So honestly, with the weather coming in, it's kind of going to be here and there towards the actual game time start. But what I will say is this. It's going to be cold. It is going to be freezing ass cold. But I will be out there Friday afternoon, some point. You can look for a nice little truck with a I don't know, an out the box flag flying, a nice little crew around to bring in the baseball season. I'm going to be out there Friday afternoon drinking some beer. I'm going to have an ice chest with me. It's probably going to be blue. So if you see a blue ice chest and a black truck, come out and join me. Luffy and Rory are not true LSU baseball fans. So
so what I was asking was the times of the games, but while you're on that rant, I looked them up.
I know.
Friday night.
The times of the game is
6:30.
The times of the game is 6:30. So
So 6:30 Friday night, 1:30 Saturday, 1:00 Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday day games. Maine, they're playing the America East. Do you know who else plays in the America East? Stony Brook. Great memories of Stony Brook for this LSU baseball team, and LSU baseball in the past. They're projected to be a middle of the pack team in the America East, but they do bring 8 starters back. Hit 270 as a squad last year. Bring 8 offensive starters back and bring 1 weekend guy back, but they still have 2 other weekend spots to fill. So this is at best an average America East team, but should hopefully be a sweep. But 2 out of 3 any weekend is fine with me.
No, we need to sweep these guys.
I'm calling a sweep. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Yep, we need to sweep these guys. So, all righty. I think we're going to suspend the House Always Wins segment this week. The Super Bowl was a little rough on our wallets. I think
I went 1 for 1.
But it was still rough on your wallet. It was still rough on everybody's wallet. Glad for you, but not so glad for the rest of our listeners. Shout out to the House Bar in Tigerland, always supporting us. House Bar in Tigerland.
Did we talk about Blaine Loop?
Yeah, we did at the beginning, right?
No, we didn't talk about Blaine Loop.
Did I?
You missed it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
All right.
Whoa, I got it. You just have to give me shout out Blaine Loop for this LSU basketball score update. LSU basketball won 84-65 tonight against Georgia. John, you let me host this podcast. You let me start it out.
I did. That's why I was not prepared.
Shout out Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Loyalty. John had a great experience with Blaine and will be closing, I think, what'd you say, this week or next week with Blaine?
Next week.
Next week with Blaine. Proven results for Blaine. So if you need to buy a home or sell a home, hit up Blaine. His number is
504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. Make sure to call or text Blaine Loop at 504-858-0031. All righty, the House Bar in Tigerland. We love the House Bar in Tigerland. You do too. Make sure to follow the House Bar in Tigerland at Tigerland House on Twitter and at Facebook and Instagram at Tigerland House. Posting drink deals every single week. You won't want to miss it. The spring is a fantastic time to go drink at the House Bar in Tigerland, especially during baseball season. Livy Dunn goes there, so make sure to check it. Alrighty. Does that do it for us?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut out your ad on that one, John.
You didn't cut anything out. Does that do it for us? Did we have a good show?
We had a great show.
Yeah. We'll get back on the basketball next week.
Well, no, LSU basketball kicked the crap.
Yeah, it was Georgia.
Kicked the crap out of Georgia tonight. So We will. That's not that impressive of a win. So
Tigers are coming.
So we will get back to that on next week's episode. March Madness coming next week, right?
Soon.
All right.
No, not next week, but
next week. Soon. We got SEC tournament first,
and we're still in February.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the March Madness to strike so I can really kick things into the next gear. But all that to say, thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot say it enough. This is our 97th episode of the Out the Box podcast. Is that insane?
Crazy.
Is that insane? We cannot thank y'all enough. We would not have, like, it takes effort to get together each week and to just sit here and BS for our listeners. Like, it takes a certain amount of effort, and we could not be more thankful for that. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to the House Bar in Tigerland, Workbox LLC, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty, and the Boot Crew Media Network. And with that, Luffy, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right, you got 10 seconds.
About your golf game.
10 seconds.
About your golf game.
All right, go.
All right, so has your golf game improved since the new year started? Like, have you done anything?
It definitely hasn't improved, but I haven't played much. I did play Saturday with Martine. Shout out Martine again.
All right. Well, there you go. Rory, have you passed the bar yet?
No, but we talked about that earlier. I don't know if I will if I have to go to Omaha.
Pitiful.
So
skip it for the Omaha trip.
Pitiful. All right. See y'all.